What is going on, everybody? I'm excited for this one. We're not talking about helping pro golfers, helping college golfers, even golfer like me, right? We're not going to be doing that. We are going to be talking about helping below average golfers. So let's get into it. What's going on? Scott Hogan coming at you here. We are today here in the lab and we are introducing a new series here. So we want to give a little context to what's going on in this series and give you an idea of what's going on and how this whole process works. I am going to be working with some below average golfers, and not only some below average golfers, but the below average golfers. Now, these below average golfers, you might have heard me on their podcast a couple months ago, and we did talk about this. We kind of teased, hey, we might want to do this. We are going to be going through and working with Owen, Caleb, and Evan on their games throughout the winter. So I'm excited for this because this lets me put on my coaching hat. But one of the things that I really want to be able to do through this channel and through, just spreading coaching knowledge is actually show the process and kind of share what us as coaches are thinking about, things like that. And so I think that's going to be really, really helpful as we go through and we work on this stuff and say, all right, hey, this is what you should be doing if you want to get better. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be able to share, hey, all of the things that we do as golfers and as people that are getting better. And I'm excited to really show, hey, these are some of the things you should really be focusing on and see how it is possible for everybody to get better, in my opinion, and shoot lower scores. The key is, do you know what to do and are you sticking with it? Do you have a plan or are you just throwing everything at it and seeing what works? That's not going to work if that's what you're doing, which is what most people do. So we don't want to do that. So first things first is we're kicking this off. We're going to get into coaching them. What is this series going to look like? Well, it's going to be a lot of working on, swing reviews, especially at the start. Okay. When we get into working, I like to make sure the mechanics and the technical side of things are, tightened up. They're where they need to be for our players. So we're going to do that. We're also going to be going through some practice drills. These are things that help build skills. Now, once you have technique, you need skills. So we're going to be working on those things. And then finally, when we get into the spring, we're going to be taking this on course and we're going to be seeing how we can do things. So first things first, though, we got to get a little bit of an understanding of our players. So we have 3 players. We've got Evan, we've got Caleb. Those 2 players, they are actually, I would say, above average players. They are right around trying to get into that single digit handicap range. Okay. That's going to be some different things that we want to work on. They both say, hey, we can hit it. They both actually say they can putt it as well. We'll see how that goes. But they also claim they need consistency, which is all of us as we're going forward. So we're going to talk a lot about that as we move forward, that idea of consistency. Now, we have Owen, Owen is clearly the one that brings up kind of the rear. He's in the 20 range for his handicap, and he's somebody that we're going to need to work on, some basic things. The difference between somebody that's 10 handicap and 20 handicap, it's not as big as people think it is, but it's just the willingness to kind of commit to doing certain things that are really important really well. You got to do them well. Okay, so, that's going to be, can we hit the ball in the middle of the club? Can we make solid contact? Can we just keep the ball moving and not lose it as we're going through? Now, he does have distance, but we'll get a little bit more into that. So I want to introduce you to him. We did have a sit down. We did talk about how to get better at this game. We did do that. So we're going to bring you a few of those clips as we were going through it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bags, the podcast for below average golfers by 3 below average golfers. My name is Owen Smith, and as always, I am joined by Caleb Wallen and Evan Teague. Boys, how are we doing tonight?
I'm good, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm ready to do this.
Okay.
To get somewhere around like 5 to 7, the middle single digits, or, I would say as low as 4 right now, just trying not to go overboard with it, but it's, I've talked about it on here before where like golf is just something that I want to be good at. I don't really do a whole lot of other things.
I'll kind of echo that. If I could get down to my biggest thing is consistency. I want to step on a golf course and kind of expect what I'm capable of doing. Like if I can get down and consistently perform like a 7 or 8 handicap and not have just the rounds that are off the tracks.
Good. And then I've always said I'm a 18 handicapper, but boys, I have some bad news. I'm a 19 handicap going into the into the off season. I was as low as a 17.2. I think that's kind of where I started the season based on last year. And let's just say having a newborn child and not playing golf as much led
excuses.
to no.
It's always hard to move on to the next shot when you don't know what you're going to do, right? It's that there is something to that, which is, I'm a huge proponent of the mental game and all of that too. I coach collegiately, and that's what we worked on majority of the time at that level, because I just let their swings be their swings. But they also know they own their swings and they know their swings, and they can do it. Hey, I hooked it. They can fix it themselves, so they don't need me for that. If you have no idea and you're just sitting there like, man, I'm just going to pump it again out of bounds, like it's hard to move on to the next one. So
there you go. We got some idea of what we have with our golfers. Again, I think this is going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be good. Some of my fears, right? When I'm working with people, what are the things that I worry about as a coach? I don't worry about the ability, right, of my coaching. I don't worry about knowing what's going to be going on. I don't worry about that at all. The biggest concern that I have when I'm coaching anybody is, are they going to be willing to change, right? Are they willing to do things that feel different? Because change is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Change is tough to do. So are they willing to push themselves to do things that feel weird, feel awkward? You're going to hit bad shots, but are you willing to do that to try and get somewhere different? If students, they kind of say, oh, I'm never going to be able to do that. Well, first off, that's one of my jobs, is to make sure you can do it. I would never give somebody something that they can't do, right? That's part of why we do so much study on how the body works, how movements work, how people are moving, being able to look at somebody as they move and say, all right, they look like they struggle with that. So we're going to make a little change here. We're going to adjust the pattern that we want to do for something. So that's always number one. The second thing is, how much dedication do they have? Are they going to bring their max effort? Are they going to bring their max effort and go practice? Are they going to bring their max effort and, hey, when I'm coming here to learn, I'm going to put it all and really start trying to comprehend how things are working? Those are the things that always are going to make the difference. What I see a lot is when I work with people in person, it's, hey, they come for a lesson, then they go and come back next week. They don't practice in between. And so, I usually don't let people come back that soon. I always tell them, like, hey, I'm not even going to book it with you until you go practice 2 or 3 times. Because if you don't do that, you're going to come back and you're going to do the same thing. You will not do something different. I feel like that's one of the strengths of my coaching is I'm not moving you on forward until you're ready. Because it doesn't make any point, right? It's like a house of cards. If I have a weak base, the more I stack, eventually it's going to fall down. I don't want that. You're going to get confused and you're going to struggle. When we're talking online, which is what we're doing here with Sportsbox, it comes down to they need to send me the swings. Okay, so I'm worried that they're not going to send me those swings, and I'm going to be trying to chase them down all the time, trying to get them. And so we definitely got to get in a routine. I think if we want to get better at golf, you have to put some priority to it. Now, it doesn't have to be the most important thing in your life. Obviously, there's more important things, but it has to say, hey, I'm going to put some effort. So instead of, hey, I'm going to just go sit on the couch and watch TV, maybe I'm going to go grab the club for 5-10 minutes while I'm doing that. Those are the things that we can do that do make a difference and help us get better. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be working on it. The other thing I do like is we are doing this in a group. I like that because once somebody is sending in a bunch of swings, the other two, if they're not sending them in, they're going to know it and they're going to feel it. And so that puts pressure on them to start working. So I think when you're working with other people around, that is always a good thing because that helps keep you accountable. So we're going to be working on it. Our goal is we're trying to get these guys to their goal. We're trying to show you what that looks like and document it in a way. Make sure you subscribe to the Bags channel. Also subscribe to our channel. Make sure you don't miss out on any of the videos. They're going to show you the process from their point of view, and we're going to show it to you from my point of view. And so make sure you don't miss out on that, all right? Now, with that said, we've got plenty more coming up as well. Got some cool new devices. We've got the new blast sensor, which this already might have helped my chipping, and that would be already worth the price of it. But some cool things that we're going to be reviewing. Got some G-snaps and things like that going on, so make sure you don't miss out on all of that. Click that subscribe button, and I'm looking forward to it, ready to take you on this journey. So we're going to help some below-average golfers hopefully become above average. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you then. Peace.